Okay, so this project was initially going to be how to make a crochet tote bag, but then I just decided halfway through this project that I want to experiment and just push my crocheting skills to the limits. So I decided to crochet a patchwork type laptop bag. So this is no way in any means a tutorial, this is just me playing around with my crocheting equipment. So I started off by crocheting the center of these granny squares, and I'm using a sunburst pattern, so it's made up of 4 different sections. So I crocheted the center and I made 18 more of those, and now I need to start crocheting the other round. So I decided to pair the yellow with this really nice reddish brown color, and I thought it would just go so well with the colors that I chose. So I did this stitch, I'm not even sure what it's called, I think it's called a cluster stitch, and I just did that all the way around to make the circle a lot bigger and to have this really nice pattern. And then I did the 4th round and I used this dark green color, and these colors are just giving autumn vibes, like these like the colors that the leaves would be, and it just looks so pretty. Next, I'm crocheting the green all the way around. It's a similar stitch to the red one that I did, but just slightly different. It's almost like a quadruple single crochet. It was a very odd stitch. I found this on YouTube. I didn't come up with this pattern, but yeah, it was very fun to make. And I think granny squares are just so good, especially if you're a beginner, because you can learn so many different stitches in one granny square. So that's the 3rd round complete, and it's starting to really take shape. After the green section was complete, I sewed the white border all the way around, and I find this so interesting, a circle turning into a square just because you do a certain stitch. I found this a very fun project and it was very fascinating to do, and I don't think white suited the border of these granny squares just because it was too bright. I feel like a cream color would look nice, but it's fine, we've already done it. So the next day I had all my granny squares prepared, and I have 19 of them, and I don't even need 19, but I just got carried away, and I actually made my own pattern for these granny squares, these single colored ones, and I was so proud of myself. And it's just me just playing around and doing lots of random stitches, and then it actually turned out really nice. So I can have that linked in the description box below, or you can pause the video and screenshot or take notes of the pattern. Then I started laying out my squares on my laptop. So my laptop is a 13-inch MacBook, so I didn't need that many squares. It's not like a really big laptop at all, so I just arranged them how I wanted to sew them on top, and I found this pattern to look really nice. And on the back I just did the opposite. Instead of sewing with a tapestry needle or a yarn needle, as some people may call it, I decided to single crochet it closed, and I made lines like this to join up later on. And one of the reasons why I decided to single crochet and not sew it is because I couldn't find my needle, so I had to improvise. As I was crocheting these squares together, I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean. My brother was going on about how good this film is, and I ended up finishing it that night, and it was actually really good. I can't wait to watch the 2nd one, and the 3rd one, and the 4th one, and the 5th one, if they do have a 5th one. I'm not really sure, but I know there's 1st and 2nd and 3rd. So after I crocheted all of the lines together, I just cut off all the excess, sewed all the way around, and put my laptop inside just to check the sizing, and it actually fits. I was getting scared that it wouldn't fit, but it does. Now I'm just preparing the lining, so I just used some plain white cotton fabric, and I just thought it'd be really perfect for this project because I just had it lying around in my room not doing anything with it. So I just put my laptop cover over this lining fabric, and then I just cut all the way around it, leaving a tiny bit for seam allowance as well. Once I did that, I ironed it because this fabric was so creased, so I wanted a nice clean finish, so I just ironed it. Next, I used a sewing machine and I sewed all the way around the square, leaving obviously a big opening at the top so I can put it inside my laptop cover. And I also sewed a tiny hole at the side so I can turn it inside out. Next, I just cut the corners so we have nice crisp corners. Then I put it inside my crocheted version and then sewed all the way around. Then I just cut the thread off from the sewing machine, and this is literally just the last step. All you need to do is put the lining inside the actual bag and then you are complete. You have finished this laptop bag. And I think this is a very good project, especially if you're just starting out. It will help you learn so many different stitches, and this will not protect your laptop if you drop it. It just gives nice color onto your laptop, and it just protects your laptop from scratches when you put it in your school bag. And I decided not to cut off all these loose ends. I felt like it looked okay without it being cut off, so I decided to leave it. And that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.